What is up, everyone? Yes, Spoon is still welding. There's a lot of welding to do. Hey, look at you huffing chemicals back there. All right. Spoon spent the time and he welded up all the major sections of the cage outside of the car like we keep talking about, right? So the whole main hoop is welded together, the whole rear X is welded together, and now they're gonna be welded inside the car, and that should be fun. So before Spoon does that though, he had to prep the surfaces for the base plates, like in corners like this, hit it with some weld through primer so it doesn't rust, but you can still weld through it, right? We're in the final stretch of the cage.
Yeah, it's going by pretty quick.
So before we get into that, I want to start the video off by showing off a pretty cool product that one of my buddies makes, and well, I'm pretty hyped on it. So since we are changing this thing into a drift car, we have to increase its crashability stability. Is that it? Right? That kind of makes sense. We got, well, aftermarket crash bars. Look at these things, right? So my buddy Ratty Fab, a good friend of mine, actually just came out with these, and they're super, super cool. Any guy out there that has a Drift E36 knows that there really isn't any good aftermarket solution for, well, bumper supports, bumper beams, crash bars, we want to consider until now. So I'm gonna put the link in the description if you guys want to grab one of these things, but one of my favorite parts about these things is the fact that there is a new rear jack point, right? So we got to quick change those tires, jack right there, pump it up, easy. And the best part is the front jack point, because every BMW guy knows there is no good place to jack these cars up in the front. Like literally, like if you can get to the subframe, you're lucky, but you got to get either your car's got to be a mile high, or you have to get up on some big ramps, or else you're stuck using your rocker, which kind of sucks. Which looks so badass, by the way. Come on, that looks so cool.
It looks good in that car.
Yeah.
Right? It looks good raw, doesn't it? Yeah. Now we have a new jack point right here. So we could finally, just quickly, jack the front end up with a BMW. Usually it's like a whole process, especially when the car is low. Come in off track, something feels loose, kick the jack under real quick, make sure your control arm's tight, go back out. 2 seconds. I love that. So on top of that, he added a little toe hook right here, which is really cool. So when my stuff breaks down on track, you can tow me off right here. For now, we're gonna take them off, ship them to the powder coater, get them powder coated so it's nice and strong finish on them, and we're gonna get back to work. Good morning. All right, I spent my entire day yesterday searching, looking, hunting, trying to find parts to get the AE86 project zooming. This is stuff I should have did weeks ago, but honestly, didn't think we'd get back to it this quickly, but whatever. So my goal today is to get the engine in the car for its first test fit to see if we have to modify anything, probably the subframe, maybe not. The first big thing is getting the engine sealed up, because as you guys saw, we finished off the video with the timing stuff still completely open, and well, the big thing was the front timing cover. Tried to find a billet one. I think me and Ant called around to a million places, and they're heavily back ordered.
Discontinued.
Back ordered.
Back ordered.
Yes.
Badly.
Asked a lot of friends, foes, Ant's enemies. Not kidding. We asked everyone, we couldn't find one. So my buddy actually brought me this OEM one, and we're gonna refresh it and make it look nice. We can make it look nice.
We can attempt.
Now this was meant to be the side of the engine. You don't see it. Why make it look pretty, right?
Yeah.
Now it's the dang front of the engine. It's the whole show. And that's kind of why we kind of wanted a fancy billet one, but we don't need it.
We want it.
We want it, but whatever. We'll make the only one look nice. So this thing is gross, dirty, ugly. It's got some casting that we don't want, but first off, we're gonna clean the whole platform by sandblasting. This thing has been one of the most loyal tools of the whole channel. People who have been watching the videos for years have seen me use this countless and countless times again. Best tool I ever stole from Brian. This thing's spray painted.
Even worse.
The only thing that sucks about this thing,
that
hits you in the face and it hurts. So we ran out of sandblasting media and we can't find any more locally, but it should be good enough. It won't be as perfect, but it'll be fine. So to even it all out, put a window cleaner, right? Do the whole thing with a Scotch-Brite, and then it'll even out all the areas that are like more sandblasted than others. And it'll take away that like gritty sandblast look, so it just looks like clean aluminum. This looks nice. It just looks like a new engine. That's the goal, right? I don't need it to look fancy and aftermarket or anything crazy, but Sure beats spending $600 on a billet one, right? So we got the front main seal, right? Very important. Don't want oil pissing out the front of the engine. I always feel so crude doing seals like this, but I don't think there's a better way.
That is the way.
That is the way. A little packet of O-rings here. There we go. Smush it in there. There you go, classic smear technique. I don't know if you're a bead guy or a smeared guy, Amp, but I'm definitely a smear.
I just clump a whole bunch on and smear it the whole way. Either way, it's gonna seal.
You want to do the tightening of the bolts on the top? Perfect, just right there. Perfect. And the bottom ones. Doesn't look too bad. I might not have a fancy cover, but at least I have some pretty dope hardware. This is Downstar hardware. You guys have seen us use it before. They make a dress-up kit for the K-Series, and basically anything Honda you could imagine. They also have universal kits, and all these things use the same thread pitches, so if you guys want to cop some dress-up hardware, Downstar, right here. Whatever you need, the boys got it. All right, so now it's the time to make this thing rear-wheel drive with our TF Works Toge Factory rear-wheel drive K-swap pan. Now that there's gonna be a subframe going this way, right, there's no room for an oil pan, right? So they had to make it super thin right here, and then they had to put all the oil capacity in the front of the engine, so it looks a little crazy. It's baffled, ready to go. Really nice flange, this whole upper piece is CNC'd, and this basically baffles added on, so we know it's gonna fit really well. Put so much Honda mod on this thing, it's kind of bad, so hopefully it doesn't leak. Let's see.
That's it.
That's it. Don't leak. Better not leak. How's it look?
Massive.
Yeah, the thing looks crazy, but there she is. More pieces of the puzzle. We have a lot of stuff to buy. I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't have that, I don't have this, I don't have that.
This sensor, that sensor.
That's like the curse of project cars. Usually I'm pretty good about this, but to be honest, like, I didn't think we were gonna get to it this week. And then like, one of the pieces I needed real bad showed up this week, and I was like, oh, we could build the K-Series. Don't judge it now, because it looks real sus with this valve cover. It looks real dookie, but once we put a nice flashy valve cover on it, get all the accessories on, all you're gonna see is like the pretty front cover, oil pan, you know? This one's gonna be a driver's car, right? I wanna make it nice, but I don't wanna make it too nice, because if it's too nice, then I won't wanna thrash it and drive it and get it all dirty and all that stuff, you know? Like, as much as you can tell yourself you don't care, you still subconsciously care when you make something too nice, you know? You wanna make it nice enough because all it takes is that little bit of extra effort, but you don't wanna go OD that it hinders the whole project, right? There's a balance. All right, so now that's basically a complete long block. We are officially ready to test fit this thing in the car because I need to get it in there to measure some things quickly before I can order more parts, right? So to get this thing in a rear-wheel drive format, we have the oil pan that will clear the subframe and steering rack. Now we need new engine mounts. Since front-wheel drive factory, they mount right here, and I think one here.
See, right, yeah, the rear mount.
And then the
trans.
Boom.
I mean, a very factory, there's one trans motor down here.
So there's 4 mounting points factory.
Yeah.
Crazy. Since it's rear-wheel drive, we now need mounts here and here. So luckily, JSP makes conversion mounts for the AE86, like specifically for this chassis, which is 6. So we don't have to so we don't actually have to make anything. And these things aren't expensive either. So now we have to figure out where the heck these mount, because it's crazy, right? Since they didn't come with mounts in these locations, they're just using existing holes that are on the engine from other things, and it's kind of funny, you know, seeing how companies find mounting points, right? Because look, there's just random thread holes on the engine.
Yep.
That doesn't def doesn't look rear-wheel drive, that's for sure. So perfect. Now we have a passenger side mount. Looking
That looks absolutely insane.
It looks kind of ridiculous, right? Because it's like, but it's good. Look at that. Feeling a lot more rear-wheel drive right now. It's a pretty crazy like adaptation. You know what I mean? There's nothing here for this. You know, you're just making new mounts for rear-wheel drive engine. You already have a platform. Now it's a rear-wheel drive. How's it make you feel, Spoon? It's a rear-wheel drive engine now.
Looks good.
Looks good, right?
You do great rear-wheel drive.
They do great all the time. Rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, upside down drive.
Greatest engine ever built.
Greatest engine ever built. Yeah, it's a good engine. It's a good engine. I'll put this thing in an airplane.
They have.
I bet they have. I'll put this bitch in a boat, and they have.
They have.
The Booster Boys, they did that, didn't they? But we should put it in a Barbie Jeep. They've probably done that too.
Been done.
What hasn't a K-Series been in?
Comment below, and we'll do it.
What can we power a
Power.
K-Series with? It's just ridiculous. Nah, whatever. All right, she's rear-wheel drive. That's sick. So I haven't confirmed it yet because I didn't read the instructions, but these are the original mounts from the 4AG, and it fits on here. So I'm gonna assume these are the right mounts. We got the trans for it. We didn't talk about it, but we're gonna be using an S2000 transmission, which aren't known to be the most strongest transmission ever, but we're not gonna be making a bunch of power. We're not gonna be making a bunch of torque. So I think it should fit pretty good. And these things are known to have a good feel behind the K-Series and fit in the 86 chassis pretty well, since the trans tunnel is super small, right?
Very.
I'm talking really fast, I don't know why, I always talk fast. But so to actually get this all together, all the components we need for the trans are gonna show up tomorrow, and then we can actually mate it and be good, which is sick. But for now, we're gonna test fit it without the trans because we can get it in and out of the car a lot faster, because we're probably gonna have to modify the subframe a little bit to fit the pan, and yeah, just easier this way. So the K is ready to go into the 86 for its first test fit, but here is the, I'll call it the controversial part of the swap, right? So the K-Series is so damn tall. You see this thing? Like from oil pan to head, it's gotta be one of the tallest 4-cylinders they have ever produced. So fitting them height-wise is always a challenge in any chassis. This one's a K24, so it has a taller deck. K20s are like 20 millimeters shorter, which is a lot. But to make this kit work, we actually have to space out the subframe to the chassis. I think that's 40 mils. That looks like 40 mils, right? Whatever, a lot. So this is the controversial part. I'm pretty sure you have to space it out for the beams too. Not as much as this. So when you start changing up, so when you space the subframe like that, obviously it changes the geometry of everything up front. Some people say they don't notice it at all. Other people say that it completely ruins things. We have no baseline of an 86 really. I've driven a couple, but like not a lot. We're gonna find out. All right. So this is all I gotta say. This is the part that really throws people off, is the fact you have to space your subframe so damn much. But between the frame rail and the subframe,
God, that's so much. Look at that.
JSP outside. Is that outside in the engine bay or outside
Car.
the car? I'm gonna assume outside is this way. Does that seem right? Holy crap, dude. Yeah. See
Holes
that?
line up.
Yep, holes line up. Mid. So JSP facing
Outside.
Jesus.
Right in.
That spacing looks ridiculous. We're gonna find out. All right, so now we have more space between here and our trans tunnel. It's crazy how little room you actually have for a transmission right there. It's not, like you would think that was a front wheel drive. You would think that was like a front wheel drive trans tunnel. It's so damn small. All right, boys, time to test fit. Donald, perfect timing. I need an extra set of hands.
I'm on crane duty.
Yeah, what, you good?
No,
You got the suds?
it's unreal. Every day.
Every day. If you guys didn't know, you probably would know if you watch his channel. DJ has really bad allergies every year. He got the suds,
the
Steve.
worst thing ever.
Oh, you got it? Are you getting the infusion still?
Nah, no more shots.
Yeah, his allergies are legendary over here.
I'm gonna go to the drugstore in a little bit and get some stuff.
DJ, I want to show them this first. Come here. Look how cool this is. This slot right here, you see it? That's actually for the engine mount. It's dope. So you could just kind of slip it in versus trying to pop it in this hole.
What's the hole for? Nothing?
No, I don't know why that hole's there. But it's dope because usually you're trying to like pry engine mounts, I'll pop them into position and stuff. But Toyota, they Toyota'd it, killed it.
They slitted it.
They really slid on that one. You know
I
what I'm
like
saying?
that.
Yeah, me too.
That is convenience.
Convenience.
Yep. Careful. Isn't that in sideways?
No, this is how a K-Series goes in the car. You see it, DJ?
Why is it like...
It's a K-Series. That's how they go in the car.
You know, it would be a good video, put an engine in blindfolded with like assist, like people just feeling around.
That sounds like a DJ No Way video.
That is not bad. I'll definitely try it.
No.
Oh no,
Look at these.
You think we could finagle around it?
Actually.
Go from the bottom.
No, yeah, because look at.
Maybe look like they're there.
No, because look, it's supposed to be right.
Come on, focus. There we go.
Right there. Yeah, so we got to cut them right here.
But not much.
Quite a bit. I thought it was going to be the subframe that we hit. Not even close. It's actually the tension rod brackets right here. Full focus. There we go. It's about to hit there, and it's already hitting right here. So let's do some cutting, and then we'll reinforce them later. We might still have to cut more.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
You know what they say, it's best to not cut as much than cut too much. Out here, man. Keep going.
I got
it's good.
Go down.
That shit should just slide
Wow.
right into the subframe.
The sauna part?
Slotted.
Yeah. Oh, Eddie's in. Ant's in.
Perfect. That's sick. That's the easiest subframe ever.
That looks good in there, James.
Yeah, it does. It does.
That looks cool.
Dude, that looks awesome in there. Now we have, look at that. Clear it right there. And if it wasn't, okay, for the 8-stick guys out there, they might have noticed something already. The oil pin is where the sway bar goes. So that's interesting part number one. That makes the swap a little bit. So we gotta figure that out. Right, Spoon? Right. The trans height, of course, is also pretty good. Like the engine could even like go a little bit lower to make the trans fit a little bit better. So you get what you get, and you don't get upset, right?
Yeah, what you get, you don't get upset. What color are we doing the valve cover?
Wrinkle red.
No,
Come on.
polish.
Oh.
Do it. No, wrinkle red, I feel it's either wrinkle red or wrinkle black. You sound crazy, you know?
I know. I kind of do everything wrinkle red or wrinkle black. It's just because it's good, you know, right?
Yeah.
Honda.
Honda.
Yellow. That's pretty cool.
Yellow would only go back.
I don't know what color I'm painting the car yet. Because if I paint the valve cover yellow and the car is red, but if the car is yellow and the valve cover is red, still, see, like, wrinkle red goes with any color.
What, yellow?
No, I don't think we're gonna paint this one yellow. Green, we have, I think Spoon sees me, I like get locked on a color and then I change it a week later. We'll figure it out. Cool, let's start taking some measurements of this thing in here. Silver would be cool, but I think we need something cooler than silver. So what I noticed first is we don't have a ton of room between the radiator and the engine. Honestly, a lot less than I was expecting. I think the engine can actually go back a little bit more. There we go. See, yeah, it's still not as much room as I would expect, which isn't a big deal. Still plenty of room for the radiator and fans, that's all that matters. But what is nice though is we do have a lot of room behind the head, which is usually super rare on almost any swap engine, especially the K, right? Because there is two sensors on the back of the head, right here, both cam sensors, and there is a big water neck adapter in the back we have to install. And like if that thing leaked on -14, I'd have to pull the whole engine. Probably. I could probably get crafty, but it would be a living nightmare. With this, I could service the back of this thing, no problem. We don't even have to mod the valve cover for a breather because we have plenty of room for the factory one right there. And since we're NA, we'll be fine. So the big thing is we have to figure out what we could fit for headers. I know a lot of guys will modify the S2000 K series swap headers, but Toge Factory makes beautiful NA headers for the S chassis, and I sent them a bunch of measurements to see if we could actually utilize theirs, hoping that we could fit theirs right here, and in worst case we just modify the collector down here. Not a big deal, we got a Spoon for that. So we have plenty of room for any intake we want to run, right? There is a football field sitting right here, so serviceability on this thing on the intake side will be super easy, right? We're just like no problem. I'm very curious to see how the trans actually fits in the tunnel, because this tunnel, as you saw before, it's just really low. It's so weird. A ZF or a CD would never fit in there. We'd have to modify the whole tunnel or just get really crazy with the hammer. So it looks like a perfect time for a Spoon update because he's been welding. Oh my. Are you sick of welding yet or what?
I'm a little grumpy.
A little grumpy. We can blame Ant, okay? Let's just blame Ant. Easy cop out, okay. So he added the little cross braces right here, and it looks, the gussets, cross braces, gussets are the technical term, and it looks so awesome. So now, I think everything's welded, right?
On the top, besides the back, but I can get to that.
Back. So obviously you guys saw the cage isn't in place, right? It is off the pedestals, which drops the cage down significantly, and that's how he was able to weld up top. But before we pop it into place, we're gonna add some paint to the top of the cage, because once it's in place, it'll be impossible to get paint up top. So we're gonna spray it real quick, a little mist from the top. Right, Spoon?
Yes, sir.
You're probably curious what color we're painting the cage, because a good offset color on the cage could really, really make a project pop out. It's not a huge deal just because this car is more for function than it is for looks, but I'm gonna steal one out of the LZ playbook, right? Because this is LZ's go-to. Steal it. This is his favorite. He uses it on everything, and honestly, I love it, and I think it'd be cool to do this car in it. And this is like it's just a nice gray. I think it'd look pretty cool in the red. I sprayed this piece with it, so it almost looks like just like raw metal. raw steel. Steel it, get it? Huh? I don't know. It's super durable. It lays really nice. It blends really well, so if you ever have to touch anything up, it kind of blends back into itself extremely well. Honestly, it'd probably be a pretty cool offset color to the red. So, LZ, thank you for the tip, buddy. He's been preaching this stuff for a long time. I hope you like it, Spoon.
I'll find out.
No, it's darker. That's cool.
You notice it.
You notice it?
Yeah, definitely do a light coat and spray from far.
Yeah, that stuff comes out crazy.
But if not, you're gonna run it real fast.
Yeah, ask me how I know. It's gonna be such a nice accent color against the red. It's gonna be good. I like it. I like it a lot. I've been seeing so many guys just do their full interior with the Steel It stuff. It's just so good. LZ has me sold on it, so
Everyone in the comments can stop saying Steel It the cage. We know we don't sleep.
Oh, was that a big comment?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. I'm happy I finally have an excuse to try it. It's gonna be so dope on the red too. All right, so now do the honors. There you go. It's a tight ass.
Tappity tap tap.
A little bit of finesse and force later. The plates are in, cage is in position, tacked up. Now it's time to what? MIG the plates of the chassis and then TIG around it?
I still have to TIG the back section to the main hoop and the back bar. Still got some welding to do.
Got some pipes. Seems like there's a never-ending amount of pipes, but one at a time. One at a time. He's chugging along. Boone's putting his time in for sure, and I'm so excited for it. And beyond grateful to have Spoon in here. Like, I don't even, words don't, there's got to be a word beyond grateful, because that's where your boy's at, because having Spoon in here is nothing short of that. All right, so that's what we got done for today with the parts that we have, but hopefully later this week things will start rolling and we can get some real progress on the A6, but I'm excited. So one thing I did want to show off before I leave you guys is I got this new box from T7 Design. It's a heater box, but full electric, right? Since we took out all the HVAC stuff out of the E36, I needed something to basically help defrost the windshield if there's, you know, if it's ever raining at an event or just whenever. So basically my new heater core, right? This piece is electric. It pulls a lot of amps, so I'm gonna have to up my my alternator and just wire this in properly. 4-speed fan, and they also sell like ducking adapters, which is really cool. So this is T7 Design. They're in the UK. This thing came super fast, so I'm really excited to fit this thing in the chassis and see how it does, because it's very common for car guys to be curious about what it'd be like to actually have an electric heater versus actually running a coolant-filled heater. I don't think it'll hit as hard as a coolant filled heater box as we can consider it, but it might be just enough. That's all we need. I'm trying to simplify the car as much as possible. If I can remove a bunch of coolant lines, especially in something like that, that's one less thing to break, one less thing to leak, one less thing to have to fix at the track, and that's what I want. So hopefully this pans out pretty well. So with that, we learned a lot getting the engine in there today. Spoon has the cage in place, and now he's got to weld the plates to the chassis and the cage to the plates, and we are good to go, which is so sick. And then we can get all the paint work done, and then all the parts to get it like drift ready are here. So once we paint it, it should go super fast. I'm dying to drive the E36. So for now, we're gonna end it. So you guys know the deal. But for now, thank you guys for watching. So you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more content, and we'll see you guys very shortly.